Most people think dharma simply means religion, or the English equivalent of dharma is religion. But dharma is not religion. The Sanskrit word dharma literally means duty, duty that which sustains us and keeps life in harmony. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, dharma is represented by a bull standing on four legs: austerity, cleanliness, kindness, truthfulness. These are called the four pillars of dharma. None of these qualities belongs to any particular religion. Whether someone is a scientist, teacher, doctor, businessman, parent, student, these principles remain essential. Why? Because dharma is not merely about rituals or belonging to a religious tradition. It is about fulfilling our responsibilities properly. Every one of us plays many roles simultaneously. You may be a son or daughter, a student, employee, friend, citizen. Each role comes with its own duties. In Vedic philosophy, these duties exist in a hierarchy. At the highest level is our relationship with the Supreme Lord. The duties connected to that highest relationship are commonly called religion. Below that are our social responsibilities toward family, society, and work. Yet, all these duties depend upon the same four qualities. So, we'll explore each of these four legs and understand why they are the true foundation of Dharma. Let's begin with the first leg, austerity. So, we have seen that Dharma stands on four legs. The first of this is tapasya or austerity. But what exactly is austerity? Many people imagine austerity to mean torturing the body or living in poverty. That is not what the Vedic text mean. In its simplest sense, austerity means hard work. It means there is willingness to accept temporary discomfort in order to achieve a greater goal. But why this is so difficult? Because both the body and mind naturally seek immediate pleasure. The body says, I don't feel like exercising today. The mind says, watch one more video, sleep a little longer, start tomorrow. The senses always pull us toward immediate gratification. As a result, we begin thinking only about the present moment. I'll enjoy today. I'll worry about the future later. This is the mentality of short term thinking. The Vedic text asks a profound question: who is making these decisions? Is it really you? Or are you simply following the demands of your body and mind? According to Vedic philosophy, you're not the body, you're not even the mind, you're the eternal soul. The body changes, the mind changes, desire changes, but the soul remains unchanged. So, real austerity begins when the soul starts guiding the body instead of being dragged by it. This is why belief in the eternity of the soul is so important. Just think about it. If life ends completely at death, then sacrificing today's pleasure may seem foolish. Why delay enjoyment if this life is all there is? But if the soul is eternal, then temporary sacrifice is no longer a loss. It becomes an investment. So tapasya is not rejecting happiness. It is choosing greater happiness over immediate pleasure. This requires something else: willpower. The Vedic text describe willpower as an expression of the soul. Every day there is a struggle. The body says take the easy path. The soul says do what is right. Every time we choose what is right instead of what is easy, our willpower becomes stronger. And then something remarkable happens. We begin realizing that we are actually different from our body and mind. Because if we were identical with them, we could never control them. The very fact that we can restrain our desires shows that there is something beyond them, that is a soul. Many people claim, I have no self control, I couldn't help myself, I had no choice. Vedic philosophy says something very different. Free will is like a muscle. If you never use it, it becomes weak. If you exercise it repeatedly, it grows stronger. The more we practice austerity, the more our willpower develops. And stronger our willpower becomes, the more clearly we experience our spiritual identity. So, tapasya is not merely hard work, it is spiritual training. So, now we can understand why austerity is called the first leg of Dharma. Every responsibility in life presents us with a choice. Do we seek immediate comfort or do we seek temporary difficulty for lasting success? But unfortunately, most people choose immediate gratification. They want quick success, quick wealth, quick happiness. When results don't appear immediately, motivation disappears. They quit, and the pleasures they chase in the present actually depend upon sacrifices they refused to make in the past. The Vedic solution is very simple and but profound. Think beyond today. Accept temporary discomfort if it leads to lasting happiness. That is tapasya. Austerity is not permanent suffering, it is temporary sacrifice for lasting fulfillment. And that is why the Vedic scriptures describe tapasya as one of the greatest paths to self realization. But now, once we decide to work hard, another question arises: how should we work? The Srimad Bhagavatam answers this with the second law of Dharma, cleanliness or shauch. At first, this may sound surprising because most of us think cleanliness simply means taking a bath, wearing clean clothes, or keeping our surroundings tidy. Those are certainly forms of cleanliness, but Vedic philosophy gives the word a much deeper meaning. Cleanliness also means working in a systematic and organized way. Think about a clean room. A room is not clean merely because the floor has been swept. It is clean because everything is in its proper place. Books are arranged, the desk is organized, nothing is random. There is order. Similarly, a clean life is an organized life. A clean mind follows a clear process. A clean worker follows a method. A clean society respects discipline. In every field, cleanliness means systematic order. But why this is considered dharma? Because systematic work always requires patience. Imagine building a house. You could rush the foundation just to finish quickly. From the outside, it may look complete, but sooner or later, cracks begin to appear. Then you spend months repairing what should have been done correctly the first time. The shortcut becomes a longer path. The same principle applies everywhere. Whether you're writing software, studying for an exam, conducting scientific research, or practicing spiritual life, shortcuts become expensive. But why do people take shortcuts? The answer is the same as in austerity. Short term thinking. We want quick results, quick success, quick gratification. So we skip the process. We ignore discipline. Initially, it feels like we are moving faster, but over time, mistakes begin to accumulate. What once looked like progress slowly turns into confusion. Now, something interesting happens. Instead of creating new value, most of our energy is spent fixing old mistakes. We patch one problem, another appears. We solve that one. A third one emerges. Soon we are no longer building, we are only repairing. The Vedic text describes this as a cycle of uncleanliness because the original work lacked order. So every future effort becomes another cleanup operation. Instead of simplifying life, we make complicated. This is exactly what happens in organization, business, governments, and even in our personal lives when we neglect systematic work. This is why cleanliness is called a leg of dharma. It teaches us to trust the process. The beginning may be slow, but once the foundation is strong, progress becomes steady and reliable. The Vedic principle is beautifully illustrated in the story of the tortoise and the hare. The hare runs quickly but eventually stops. The tortoise moves slowly and consistently. In the end, it is the tortoise who reaches the destination. Likewise, a systematic life may appear slow at first, but over time it surpasses a life built on shortcuts. The lesson is profound. Austerity teaches us to think beyond immediate pleasure. Cleanliness teaches us to work with order and discipline. Without austerity, we won't have the patience to follow a system. Without cleanliness, even our hard work becomes wasted effort. Together, these two legs establish the foundation of Dharma. But now we arrive at the third leg of Dharma, kindness or Daya. Most people think that kindness means helping others. Kindness is the opposite of selfishness. To be kind means to cooperate instead of competing, to think of others instead of thinking of ourselves. But where does this kindness come from? Most people assume kindness comes from generosity, but kindness comes from confidence. And confidence comes from the previous two legs of Dharma. When we practice austerity, we become stronger. When we work systematically, we become more capable. And as our abilities grow, so does our confidence. And when we are truly confident, we no longer feel threatened by others. This is when genuine kindness becomes possible. Just think about the opposite. Why are people selfish? Usually because they're not strong. It is because they are afraid of losing, afraid of being ignored, being cheated, of not having enough. So this fear creates selfishness. A selfish person thinks, if I don't protect myself first, no one else will. But there is a hidden cost. Relationships survive only on one foundation: trust. Every selfish action weakens that trust. And then, as trust disappears, cooperation disappears. Then, friends become distant, families get divided. And that selfishness that was meant to protect us, it leaves us isolated. So, now consider the opposite cycle. A confident person is not constantly worried about self preservation. Such a person can appreciate other success without feeling threatened. They can help others without expecting something in return. Their kindness inspires in others. Trust grows. People naturally want to cooperate with them. There is another important quality that grows from confidence: humility. Many people confuse humility with weakness, but real humility comes from strength. When you're confident, criticism doesn't threaten your identity, it becomes an opportunity to improve. An insecure person reacts differently. Every criticism feels like a personal attack. Then instead of learning, they become defensive. Their ego prevents them from changing. But ego is not a sign of confidence, it is a symptom of insecurity. The stronger we become internally, the less we need to protect our image. Confidence gives rise to humility, and then humility allows growth, and then growth creates confidence. So, this brings to one of the most profound ideas in Vedic philosophy. What is the first act of kindness? Most people will say helping someone, giving charity, donating money, but the Bhagavatam points somewhere else. The first act of kindness is correcting yourself. Just think, every unresolved flaw in our personality becomes a burden for the people around us. Our anger hurts our family, our pride hurts our friend, our laziness burdens our co workers. And when we refuse to correct ourselves, others are forced to tolerate our shortcomings. And then eventually, the kindest person reach their limit. Relationships begin to suffer. And then true kindness therefore begins with asking, how can I become easier to live with? It's improving ourselves. Improving ourselves is one of the greatest gifts we can offer to others. Only after this foundation is established, charity becomes meaningful. Then we can genuinely offer our time, our knowledge, our abilities, and our resources to help others grow. But if we ignore our own flaws while trying to appear generous, something strange happens. Charity becomes performance. Instead of helping others, we are trying to elevate ourselves. We seek praise rather than transformation. The Vedic text warned that this is not a genuine kindness, it is selfishness, wearing the mask of compassion. Real kindness is not about appearing good, it is about becoming good. This is why Daya is the third leg of Dharma. After austerity builds strength, cleanliness builds discipline, kindness builds relationships. Without kindness, society falls apart because trust disappears. With kindness, cooperation becomes possible and help one another grow. It is a journey from self discipline to self confidence to self correction and finally to genuine compassion. Now we come to the final and the most important leg of Dharma, truthfulness, Satya. For in Kali Yuga, when the other three legs become weak, truthfulness alone remains standing. Speaking the truth is not always easy. In fact, many people who rely on deception often appear to be successful. They may have wealth, they may enjoy popularity, they may even seem admired by society. When we see this, we naturally begin to wonder, if dishonesty brings success, why should I remain truthful? So, this is where, Vedic philosophy gives profound answer. The greatest obstacle to truth is not ignorance, it is attachment. When we become attached to wealth, fame, comfort, or approval, we begin seeing reality not as it is, but as we want it to be. Our desires start shaping our conclusions. Then, instead of following the truth, we start searching for arguments that justify what we already want. So, this is why Vedic tradition says that truth and detachment always go together. They are known as Gyan and Vairagya, knowledge and detachment. Without detachment, knowledge becomes biased. Imagine wearing glasses with colored lenses. The world itself has not changed, but everything you see is distorted by the color of the lens. Attachment works in exactly the same way. When we are attached to a particular outcome, our mind filters reality to support that attachment. We no longer see things as they truly are. We see only what benefits us. Detachment removes those colored lenses. It allows us to look at reality objectively, even when the truth is uncomfortable. That is why truthfulness requires courage. Sometimes speaking the truth may cost us popularity, it may cost us opportunities, relationships. But from the Vedic perspective, these are temporary loss. Temporary loss is a small price to pay for genuine understanding because truth ultimately liberates us from illusion. The four legs of Dharma are therefore deeply connected. Austerity gives us the strength to sacrifice immediate comfort. Cleanliness teaches us discipline and systematic living. Kindness purifies our relationships through trust and self correction. And finally, truthfulness enables us to see reality as it actually is, not as our desires want it to be. When these four qualities stand together, Dharma stands firm. When they collapse, both individuals and societies gradually lose their foundation.